Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. All right, hello, everybody. We've got an amazing being here, amazing powerhouse, Kimberly Meredith. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here, and I just know that you're just so amazing, and with the things I have seen and heard about you, you're doing incredible things in the world. So let's share about Kimberly. Kimberly Meredith is quickly gaining recognition as one of the world's most gifted medical mediumship healers and spiritual speakers. People come from all over the world to avail themselves of her healing sessions as she see her eliminate tumors from individuals on tables at expos and events, or Skype her for healing or spiritual sessions. But it is her legion of fans, thousands of whom have personally experienced complete healings, who are propelling her rapid rise in the public consciousness. During this crisis with the pandemic, she is continuing to serve, but mostly through Skype healings and consultations. What is unforgettable about Kimberly is that her healing mediumship manifests in her blinking eyes. As she scans a body, her blinking eyes signal disease, blocks that denote trapped emotional energy. If her left eye blinks rapidly, all is well. If the right eye blinks, she has encountered a problem and then she clears it. She has been likened to a human MRI. In order to scientifically prove her abilities, Kimberly has been rigorously tested by numerous highly regarded scientific laboratories, all of which validated her extraordinary healing powers, which are measurable even through solid walls. Kimberly has been tested by Dr. C. Norm Shealy, a neurosurgeon and pioneer of holistic medicine, professor emeritus of energy medicine, founder of the National Institute of Holistic Medicine, and most recently, the famed Institute of Noetic Sciences, headed by emeritus scientist Dr. Dean Radin. So she's highly confirmed for her abilities. Kimberly has been deeply involved with people, both confirmed and suspected of having COVID virus, using her unique gifts to return them to health in one Skype session. And now, filled with practical and channel device, she has committed her system for staying safe from the pandemic virus to a short, easy to read book, a free ebook, a coronavirus, the top 21 tips for protection, or the book version is also available at amazon.com. So what an amazing subject. This is, definitely continues to be a timely subject, talking about the coronavirus. Kimberly, uh, wow, I mean, there's so much to explore here with you, with all the things you've been up to. But I'm curious to tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe the story of what got you into, doing really all this sort of work you do, the medical intuition and healing and everything that you do, and specifically now with the coronavirus.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me here today. Yeah, it's been quite a journey just in the last few years. I started becoming full-blown trance channeler is what I am, and medium and healer. It started in 2013. I had a near-death experience, an out-of-body experience after having a freak car accident. And I came home from the hospital a completely different person. And then gradually after that, in the matter of, I'd say 6 months to 2 year recovery period, my gifts started unfolding. And but I knew when I came home from the hospital that I wasn't the same person. When I went in, it was really quite apparent, um, with all of my friends and family, that I was not the same person. That when I had the out of body experience at the hospital, I had encountered the divine, the presence of the Holy Spirit. Um, I'm not a real religious person, but this is a very intimate experience of encounter I had with God. And I remember telling my girlfriend, I experienced God. And she's like, we all experience God. But I was like, no, I had an experience with God. Yeah. So it was really a very profound experience. And I had spent many hours and days at the hospital recovering, and still had not fully recovered when I had gotten home. And was in a wheelchair and started. It's a long story, so just not to go in too long. Um, I started having sensations of the blinking in my eyes, and I call it in a chapter of my book that's coming out next year in the fall of 2021 by St. Martin's Press. It's called Awakening to the Fifth Dimension. I started having the reappearance of my blinking eyes. And why it says the reappearance of the blinking eyes is because when I was 6 months old, my family, my grandma, my grandpa, my mom would see my eyes blinking then. And I was having seeing paranormal things as a baby and doing things with healing with my hands with animals. Uh, an animal had passed when I was a young child, and I was saying no, 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 and to bring it back, bring it back. And I would lay my hands on it and puff my mouth into its mouth, and it would come back. And my eyes were blinking, and my mom didn't like it. So they would constantly say, stop blinking. So after the NDE, to take us back to that, the near death experience where I had come back, my eyes started blinking um, again. So that was very unusual for that to happen. And it reminded me of when I was a child, when I was told not to blink. But that was the source, the infinite omnipresent coming back to me, which I believe that we all have gifts. And if we're meant to embrace the gift and step away from um, uh, ourselves and let the divine enter, we can have a miracle. And my miracle was letting God speak to me again. And so my eyes started blinking and communicating with the frequency of the divine.
Wow. Wow. So it's something you actually, you had going on as a kid, but then because you was like, no, no, and then it kind of got locked away inside of you, is what I'm hearing you say. Is that right?
Yeah, by society, by family, not understanding. That was my communication, is being a psychic, a medium, and intuitive, but not really knowing. They didn't really know, it wasn't their fault. But then after I had the NDE, and then the energy was meant to communicate with me again. So then I just accepted it at that point. And then shortly after that, experiencing that communication from spirit, um, I was still told by many doctors I wouldn't be able to hold my head up. I had significant injuries, that I would have to stay pretty much a bedridden, wheelchair, and stay on many medications. Through learning the code blinks through my eyes. And I don't just get messages through the eyes. I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairescent. I'm all the clairs. I was told through the Holy Spirit to throw all my medication away and stop my treatment through the doctors, and I would be healed. And lo and behold, I listened to spirit, and I was healed within, I'd say, 6 months after that communication with spirit.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you basically the energy for your healing came through self healing through this channel that's opened up inside of you is what it sort of sounds like. Is that sort of the way to kind of describe that?
Yeah, I was tested by some people saying, like friends or people would say, oh, what do you mean you're blinking or hearing messages? I don't understand that. Of course, there's lots of doubters and things at the point, like it was when I was a kid. And I said, no, I know this is what was happening when I was young, and now it's back. I'm going to accept it and listen to it. And of course, it was a very challenging time for me, of course, emotional time, but I did know that it was the Holy Spirit. It was God. I was raised half Jewish, and my mom was Italian Catholic, but my father was Jewish. She converted. I was very much my whole life loved God, but at this point, I knew that this was something greater, which was God, the Holy Spirit, than a religion. And I was really, really, really trusting that this message was coming from the omnipresent. So I didn't listen to any other energies or forces or people telling me this isn't something real. And I knew it was the energy of the Holy Spirit. So I listened, and I'm so glad I did, because I'm now helping so many people and I was healed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and I think that's so important is that people hear your story, that especially in my audience, because many of them are, intuitive people, energy healers, and all that sort of stuff, so that many of us, whatever gifts we have, we've closeted them as well for various reasons, right? Similar reasons to what's happened to you, or maybe the same reasons. And that, yeah, that it is, it's interesting. It's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
We won't get too deep into it, but yeah, it's an
Yeah.
important thing to just to help people remember, you're not crazy. You are who you really are, and to trust that. And I think that's kind of the message I get out of it anyway, just for us to keep trusting who we really are. And we all have far more gifts than we realize, and, to open to those. So,
You're
um,
absolutely correct, Daniel, because people will often push away somebody from having a really strong intuitive feeling or messages. And my eyes do the messaging, but someone may have a feeling in their stomach about an intuition, or they get it a different way. And I'd say don't stop those feelings. And it can go in many, like you're right, many different ways of your sexuality or your intuition of your gut feeling of something, and you should just always be who you really are, because it's beautiful who you really are.
oh, yeah. Yeah, there's sometimes I do channeling, and there's times lately where I'm like, maybe I could just channel all day, put it on YouTube, and just do. It just, it just sometimes it's just, yeah, these gifts, these openings we experience that are quite profound. And for you, getting back to the subject we want to talk about today is, you have the gift to help people in probably all kinds of ways, but a lot of it has been around the medical,
Yes.
and then the coronavirus. So um, I've got a bunch of questions here I could ask you, but I'm probably just going to go with what's my gut of what they ask you about today, if that's okay. I'm kind of wondering what your take is. This is a time of huge awakening with the coronavirus. For our spiritual audience here, it's a little different than maybe a few of the audiences you talk to. They're very already into this. So, from a spiritual perspective, do you have any thoughts about or insights around what's happening with us experiencing this whole thing with the coronavirus?
Yeah, I mean, I have so many different thoughts about it. It's bringing us closer together, actually, even though it's some people feel it's bringing us further apart. I feel in some ways, um, people are finding out who they truly are during this experience. They're awakening themselves to realizing that we do really need each other, and that we are also taking a stronger look within our our health and our I know from the clients that are coming to me, they're very worried, and they want to be more consciously awakened about their homes environmentally, and they want to know more about their consciousness, and about be consciously awakened to the right products to eat, the right water to drink, the right vitamins. And I've never seen it like this before. And I haven't been a healer that long, but even in the time I have been a healer, um, I've never seen so many people want to be educated like this. And this is really cool. And also, I get a lot of messages from spirit that this was supposed to happen to bring us into the awakening, into the ascension, and to move us forward. And I know that may sound strange, but people that are not willing to go into a higher consciousness, a higher dimension, Edgar Cayce even spoke about it, will be depopulating. And it's not it's a time for us to say, yes, this old way is not working. We're moving into a new paradigm. And the paradigm is now, we can't drink tap water. We have to understand that's not going to work out. When I get clients coming that have 4-stage cancer and they're doing chemo radiation, it's okay to also have an alternative care practitioner that helps you understand that the tap water's got bleach, it's got MRSA in it, it's got aspergillus. You can put a filter on your sink. You don't have to go get gallons of water in plastic. Plastic's got fossil fuel. That's a third dimensional world. We need to understand that COVID didn't just come because of what you think COVID came from. And you're not going to get well just by taking these antibiotics or getting a shot. This is a bigger thing we're having here underneath it all. We are environmentally polluted, and we are environmentally and spiritually being attacked.
Interesting. Now that's not what I've probably heard in those words before. Tell me more about. I mean, I get it with the environment for sure, right? And then, yeah, there's so many perspectives on it. But tell me more about we're being attacked. Yeah, tell us more about that.
Well, when we're being spiritually attacked, we are not honoring why is our water have so much bad pollution, arsenic, bleach? Why are we drinking out of the tap water? Why aren't we being notified? Why are we drinking out of plastic still? Why isn't plastic being taken off the shelves? It's already been written up. It's already out everywhere. There's no BPA free. The clients that I take that have breast cancer, every single one of them has been drinking out of plastic. This is already out. It's been out for years. The baby bottles are being taken off the shelves. That is an environmental and spiritual attack against humanity. So if you've got an immune suppressed condition, forget about COVID, cancer, shingles, tons of immune suppressed conditions out there, Parkinson's, everything affects your immune system. How do you get better if you're still drinking and eating products that are contaminated? So anyway, pick up my book. It's free right now. Soon it won't be. I'm going to just have it on Amazon. But basically, this is not to live in fear. It's to go into a fifth dimensional world, which we're moving in. Many people are giving amazing amount of information out there that you can say, hey, I don't need to live this way anymore. I could go on Amazon and buy a $21 filter, throw it on my faucet, wash my vegetables in pure clean water. I don't have to buy a $190 system. I can do this. I can get a bath ball from Rain Shower, put it in my tub, and my water can be totally clean and filtered and have 500 baths with a clean filtered tub. I can drink Mountain Valley spring water that has good clean water for my body. I can never drink out of a plastic bottle again and drink out of a glass container. I can eat good have great vitamins. I can make sure my vitamin D is above 25%. So I'm not susceptible to getting cancer.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I mean, one of the things that there's a lot of controversy about where the virus, what's created it on a even energetic, spiritual level, much less all the other ideas. But one of the things that really resonates for me is that it is such an awakener, this virus, because because it has especially hit people that are already compromised, already have poor health. Um, so it seems like it's like pointing to these, we talk about like systemic racism. It's like systemic illness. We've got systemic illness in our society, and it's like if people are paying attention, um, a lot of times it's not getting the attention it deserves. But like, look at who it's affecting the most. It's affecting people that are really in bad shape already the most, it seems, from everything I see in here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's affecting a lot of people, not just people that are older, not people that are just the sickest. I think anybody can get it. I mean, there's kids that are getting it, and some people can get healed pretty quick from it. I mean, I've had clients that are young as a 21-year-old kids that are hanging out and getting it, and they can recover in a couple of weeks by eating better, drinking better, taking their vitamins. I mean, if it wasn't COVID, it was going to be something else. And after COVID, it'll be another thing because the bugs are getting stronger. The viruses are getting stronger than our antibiotics. Because I'm going to go right back to what I was saying before. We are not boosting our immune systems high enough, and we are polluting our water. We're polluting our environment. We are not taking care of our planet. The ocean is filthy. The fish, you should never eat a piece of fish. The fish is polluted. The fish is full of bioidentical hormones. Fish has fossil fuel inside of it. And our antibiotics are not strong enough.
Wow.
So it was going to happen anyway. It was going to happen.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's gonna happen one way or another, right? You're right. I totally agree with that. I think it's a great point. Like people are like the who to blame kind of thing.
We have to take care
of where's the guy in the lab that created this thing, or who's whatever stories of how it got out. But it's like it's not it. I mean, we do have to remember, right? There's we're getting feedback. Yeah, and it comes in the form of what you put it as an attack. Like, okay, wake up.
Yeah, we need to take action now. Stop blaming. Blame game is over. And right now, as individuals, say, hey, I need to take responsibility for my life and get ready now to eat the best I can, take the best, live the best I can, have a good environment in my home, make sure my home is fully organic, make sure my life is organic, live in a fifth dimensional state of consciousness, make sure I get, hey, what's the worst thing you can do is raise your cortisol level and go into fear mode. And when you're in the fear mode, you're going to get stressed out and you can get sick even that way. So that's a really important thing to remember also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing when we pour on the fear. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to wreak havoc on us, on our health. So obviously, that's not the answer. What you brought up with this tap water, I think, is amazing. I mean, that's something that people aren't really talking about. So I think that's great that you bring that up. That hey, are you drinking tap water? That's not gonna cut it. You're gonna drink it, or people pretty much are. They're drinking tap, or they're drinking out of a something plastic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of Skypes around the world, and I'd say 85% of the world is still going for tap, and they're still getting cancer. Most cancer is environmental, and I'd say most of the world is still thinking it's okay to drink it, and most people are still eating processed foods, and they're wearing a mask, and it's like, okay, wear a mask and still eat bad. It doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like, and getting emotionally upset and raising your cortisol is not going to help boost your immune system either. So in the book that I have on my website right now, I talk about all of these things. It's called Top 21 Protection Tips. And the tips are so simple and easy. And I also give a lot of information in there about some products. I don't sell any of the products. All the products you go out and you can get that I feel my guides feel are really great things that could help you boost your immune system.
Great, great, great. I mean, there's a lot of talk about things like, washing our hands and wearing masks. You mentioned the mask part, and then, but yeah, I mean, one of the things I've heard too that I know that you're aware of is, we don't think about so many the ways that the virus could come into your life, like the countless ways. We go to the store, like like I literally I heard one person say they could swab any plastic in our house that we just recently acquired, and it would have COVID on it. Like, I mean, people don't realize like it's everywhere. That's why I think one of the things you're saying that's so important is which I've been a big advocate of too, is boost your immunity. And like in the ways you mentioned too, with vitamin D, and there's all kinds of different ways, right? So
Yeah.
um yeah, so what can people, boosting your immunity, that's huge. What are some other ways people can, keep the stress low? I mean, quit drinking, water, out of the sources you mentioned. Go to the sources you're mentioning. Vitamin D. I imagine exercise, right? We know that boosts immunity, right? I would think so. What other things can people do to help boost their immunity, to help them, to get healthier?
Well, every individual is different. When I do a consult with people that come on my Skypes, it's for an hour consult. I go through all their vitamins, I go through all of their herbs, things like that. I'm not a huge herb fan, it thins the blood out. I'm really into boosting oxygen in people's bodies. So I find out what probiotic they're on. Everybody needs to be on a probiotic and have the probiotic every single day. I make sure everybody knows what their vitamin D level is because the sun is not the sun anymore. We're not getting enough vitamin D. I put everybody on a really good vitamin and I make sure people are doing the right amount of vitamin D, and I make sure everyone's on the right probiotic. And I have one I really like. And then I make sure some people like to be on selenium, zinc. Um, I'm really into ozonating water. I'm not into enemas. I think enemas lower your immune system. People know a lot about me, the people out there that follow me, the reasons why it can be big on dehydrating the body. I'm not a detoxer. My medical mediumship, I know there's mediums out there that like, or nutritionists and stuff that like detoxing, but I feel right now what's going on in the body, we need less detoxing and more immune boosting. Finding immune boosting foods are really important that hydrate your body. So a lot of people ask me, they're like, God, you look like you're really hydrated, Kimberly. What do you do? And I do a lot of I take a lot of silica. I have brands that I really love for silica, and that's the collagen that goes between your vertebrae. And I feel like it's really important just when you're looking at your meal and you don't skip meals. Maybe you do intermittent fasting, even. So it depends on the individual. The book that's coming out with St. Martin's Press next year, I have another book. I talk about meal planning, protein shakes, wheatgrass juice, things that get into the cells of the body that promote oxygen is so important. So, not one book would be good for every person because every person is an individual. But I think it's so important to have one good hearty vitamin. Like my favorite vitamin is Solgar. Solgar's been around since 1947 and
Yeah.
it's a hearty vitamin. It's like some people come to me with like bags of vitamins, bags of herbs, and I'm like, oh, they. And I'm like, oh my God, because you're just going to urinate out most of that because you can't handle all that in your body.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll like, you like Solgar? And I'm like, yeah. And it really works. Really good multivitamin from Solgar. And then if you want to add other things, but I would say keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, because there are so many products and processes and things, right? I mean, we could go nuts with all. I used to have a lot more supplements, all these bottles, and take another one, take another, and then vitamin D, I was overdoing. They're like took my blood test, like how much vitamin D you're taking? Well, the guy selling them to me says takes 20,000 IU's a day, so I was taking 20,000 a day. And then I go back to it. I said, well, they said it was too high. Oh. They tell me every visit, make sure you keep it down. I keep it down. My chiropractor, keep it down then, And yeah, well, it's funny. So, but yeah, I mean, when, mostly what I do is I will tune in for myself on each thing. Like, okay, is this good for me? How much, and I do it for the family too. And it's like as I've done that, I've like continue to do that. Like I've just continued to reduce. So like I totally resonate with what you say with keep it simple. I mean, there's so okay, so we could simplify that. You can talk to especially Kimberly about how to simplify more. And then you also talk about, how to handle these things. A lot of the people here are spiraling up into the fifth dimension and beyond. So, what can we do to handle what's going on from that perspective, like from an energetic fifth dimensional perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that to keep ourselves ready for what's going on in the days to come, I do have some CDs available on my website that were produced. I don't know if you've ever heard of Stephen Halpern. He's a
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so he produced an album. I wrote all the words and I said the lyrics, and he does all the music behind it. Oh my God. It's called Angel Awakening. So I have that to offer people. They can get that, but you can, and I have another album called Channeling the Holy Spirit, which is just 3 songs, I think, on there. But the Angel Awakening CD has been very successful with people, even in hospitals and all over the world. And it's mantras and chants of taking you into deep meditations and anything that's going to take you away, just a break of like 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, into a spiritual frequency where your mind is in a higher trance state. So there's a difference between a medium, a psychic, and trance mediums. And I'm a trance medium. So it's really good to get in that trance state, because what happens is your cells in your body regenerate and activate like telomeres. And then what happens is your body can heal itself. And that's what I was doing when I was home. The guides were healing me in a trance state. So like when I had gone into the hospital and they did more scans on me, the doctors were like, oh my God, your vertebrae have regenerated, your jaw regenerated. We can't believe how you've been healed. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about his healing was like that.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra talks about the quantum healing, a book that was written in the 80s. This is real stuff. This is really happening. When I lay hands on people and they've got tumors and cysts and lumps on them and it disintegrates like that, it's gone. This is really happening. This is really cool. We're in a trance state. We're in a fifth dimensional state of consciousness. We're in this Harry Potter realm, but it is not something you can't learn to do, but you have to take yourself into this rhythm. And how you do it is by music and chanting and going into this state. So why I like to explain this is because it's not a religion. It's just like Casey's talked about. So in the CD that we did mantras and ohms and words that would help teach people how to do that.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And they can access that. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. So where can they find that? At your
Oh,
website?
yeah, we didn't put it on YouTube. We didn't put it on iTunes yet. We didn't, it's on my website right now, but we're going to put it on iTunes soon. But right now, you can just get it on my website. It's
Oh,
just Yeah, it's just there for right now.
okay. And is that's at the healingtrilogy.com, is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And then you have so people will go there and be able to access that. And then I'm kind of jumping the gun maybe, but
Yeah,
I
and
do want I do want to have you share, well, first of all, do you have any last, we're going to get to the free gift in a little bit, but can you describe more about the actual, you're giving some great information today. And so, but how do you help people? I mean, what can people expect in working with you through a session?
Thank you for asking. The guides say that what they like to do is we do many different types of sessions on my website. When you get to the site, you'll see like on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are open clinic in Encino, California. And I have a beautiful office there where people come. And when you come in, we have acupuncture, we have cold laser, we have oxygen. Um, what I do is a full-blown medical mediumship uh, reading on you. So you come in and it's like very similar to Dr. C. Norm Shealy. He has an office out in Missouri. But I do the whole full-blown mediumship scan on you. So you come in and I read you. I have an office assistant, you get checked in, and I just do a full-blown reading on you, just like you're going to a regular medical doctor, but I'm an alternative care practitioner. And I'll tell you everything. You fill out a sheet of paper. I don't look at it, you can record the session and I'll say, I see breast cancer on you, or I see that your full body is, I never see that your full body is okay. Because I always find things that have happened to you maybe a long time ago, like maybe you had a torn knee, da, da, da. So after I do the full scan, maybe I see a little problem with your eye. They're very nosy. So they find every little thing. and then I love my work. I love doing it. So I do every little thing. And then afterwards we'll discuss back and forth. They'll say, confirm, da, 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 that's this, that. Then we'll say, let's do a treatment plan for you. So maybe then I'll make a plan of like, I think you should go on this vitamin, or they'll say, I'm on that or that or that. And then sometimes people say, will you lay hands on me and do a healing on me? And then I often will hear, because that's the next ability I have, is yes, I have to get the okay. Yes, do a healing. So then they'll lay down on my office table and I will lay hands on a part of the body that they have a physical illness or an injury. And I will lay hands and if it's okay, we will do a healing. And sometimes, and most often, it is very successful. If they are open to it and want the healing, it's very successful. And the person will do a prayer. And often the prayer will be whatever they want to pray. And it's a matter of maybe, I'd say at most 2 minutes. And then we will I have oxygen in the office. I put the oxygen on them. And often the person will cry or relieve a sigh. And maybe a week later or 3 or 4 days later, my assistants will say, we got an email from the person that it was a success. And then they always do a follow-up with me.
Yeah, yeah, and you're doing these over Skype now, right?
And then the Skype sessions are really cool too. So I do 3 days a week of Skypes all over the country, and people will come on. And why I think I'm used mostly, okay, I'm finding out as this goes along, is that I'm getting chills right now. And I think the guides are using it mostly for preventative health care. I'm very good with preventative health care. There are people coming in, yes, that already know what they have, like 4-stage cancers, it's already gone and all this stuff's happening. But what I love the most, and I'm so happy to say, is I love when someone comes on, and this is not a good thing, of course, but when someone will come on and say, I've heard about you, I really love what you do. Can you give me a scan? Because I may have something, but I don't really know. And I'll go across the screen and I get hot flashes when I feel cancer or COVID or something really, really not good. And I'll go across and I'll go, bam. And I feel there's something there. So I've had a lot of breast cancers, and I'll just know it. And even if the person said they had a mammogram or thermography and it was clean, my guides will go right to it. I'm like a little puppy dog. I go, ah, and I know it. And when I know it, I know it. And you can ask people. Kimberly knows when there's breast cancer or prostate or any cancer. So I go right to it, and then they'll call me back. I'll say, you have to go get another mammogram. And then I'll get a message, and and they'll say, you're right, it was missed. So they have to go back again and do an ultrasound. And then this is good news though. This is not bad, because then we can take care of it and get it done.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like my passion. I used to, well, I still do. I train people to utilize their ability to tune into people, right? And yeah, that's what we ought to be doing. I mean, I guess the medical equipment is there, right? It's available, but what if we had, people are so attuned that they're as good or better than any of the machines? Like,
Yeah, I mean, this one girl, Christine, she's on my website. She had had a mammogram and thought it was fine. And then when I went over her, she never said a word to me. I just scanned her. I said, "There's something not quite right there." They're blinking. No, no. She goes, "I just had a mammogram. They said it was fine." I said, "Well, the guys are saying no, no, no." And she's like, "You're kidding." I'm like, "No, you got to go back." So when she went back and they did the ultrasound, sure enough, it was first stage breast cancer. So then whatever reason, that machine at that institute or whatever was going on was just off. So they had to do the ultrasound. Sure enough, they just got it out, gone. Um, and she was not living in LA. I couldn't see her, but at least I could do the Skype, and then she could just move on and be done with it.
right, right, and that's often true. When we're able to tune in, we pick up on things that maybe the medical people aren't picking up on for sure.
Yeah, it's
So
not their fault. I mean, sometimes these things just happen. So anyway, I'm always happy when I can be used and the guides can be used and do that. And my future, I feel, not that you've asked me yet, but I feel like hopefully I can teach this one day.
yeah, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, that's what I ended up doing is I started teaching lots of people
Oh,
around the world about how to do what I do, and it's great to duplicate ourselves in a way that way, right? Like now more people can do it, and more access, more people waking up to that. So many of us have such capacities and abilities, and matter of attuning to them, right? So that's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm cheering you on for that. I'm getting excited about that one. Yeah, as well. So, Kimberly, if they want to learn more about these tips, you gave tips today. Where do they go to get the tips in the ebook for the
Yeah,
coronavirus?
coronavirus top 20 tips for protection. Well, you can get the audio at Amazon, and you can get, but all the information is on my website. It's called thehealingtrilogy.com. And right on the front page where my newsletter is. And if you sign up on my newsletter, I give away one of my free classes. I don't know if you've ever heard of Thomas John.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. It sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, there's a free class there we're giving away when you sign up for the newsletter, which is a really great teaching class. And then also right on the front page, there is the coronavirus book that we're giving it away for free right now. It's not going to be for free for too much longer. My agent has kind of the control over that. He's a beautiful, I love him. But then it goes straight to the Amazon audio. But the book has gotten like 7,000 downloads. So it's been really a really good. I feel really good about giving away all those. So because I want more and more people not to drink any kind of plastic.
Right, right. Well, I mean, when you point to the alternatives, then that gives people, because people otherwise they don't know what do I do? We don't know what to do. So get the free ebook, and that'll start to help you to know what to do. And
Yes, it's a really helpful, and there are some essential oils in there. I also threw in some smoothies. It's a really good read. I have some prayers in there, some affirmations in there. So anyway, I really want people to go ahead and grab it if they can.
yeah, thehealingtrilogy.com. Get the free ebook, Coronavirus Top 21 Tips for Protection, and much more, I'm sure. It's really strengthening your overall awakening and your immunity and everything. So there's far more benefits as well on top of it. So that's awesome. And Any last quick thoughts and tips for people that you'd like to share right now?
Well, I mean, if anybody wants to come to any of our events, we have a video on demand section on my website. And in my events calendar, we have free monthly events every month, that everybody's welcome to come. We're a nonprofit organization. And every month we have, I'm really connected to Mother Mary, um, Miriam. She's very beautiful and loving, and she likes to do a free monthly event every month. And in the monthly event, I give away free sessions. I know, I just can't stop giving away stuff. Okay,
That
I
giving
know.
heart just wants to do it, right?
My crew, my team is like, oh God, please, So anyway, please go to the healingtrilogy.com and look at our monthly events. And I just want to say that I believe that everybody, every living soul has the ability to receive the energy of God and receive a healing and receive receive this energy. And like you said, you're a channel, Daniel, and you have such a beautiful gifts, and you're a child of God. And I believe we're all children of God, and we're all able to receive the love and the light and peace within us, and we deserve to have a beautiful world, and we deserve to have peace here.
Yes, yay. Absolutely. One last thing. So this is awesome. I'm definitely going to go there and sign up. The last thing I like to do on the show is one of the last things is I like to do an my own intuitive energy scan for our guests that come on. So, excuse me, my throat for some reason. So, if you're open to receiving something along the lines of what I see unfolding for your amazing future, just some insights and things like that. I'd love to share that with you for a minute or two if you're open to it today.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So let's go ahead, let's tune in, see what wants to come through today. It's like what we're getting for Christmas, right? Okay. Let's see what's coming through. Wow, okay, I don't know. Sort of like a Hollywood energy is coming in. So like I get like a movie production. So something that's coming up with that. And might be a while, might not be. I don't know. Again, the time frame might be different, but I get something about over a period of 5 years or something. But like, yeah, something about movie production. Hollywood was the word I got. Let me tune into that some more for a sec. Yeah, you're. You may not agree with me. There's something true to whatever I get. So there's something about you being this kind of maybe a movie mogul, almost like a little mini movie mogul, and that you want to share these like beautiful stories with people, maybe of like healing and inspiration, and like I see you like just like putting the creative energy into it. And creating this thing, like that's really impactful, with little books, like these wonderful books. And so, of course, with books, you'll continue to be with books. You're going to come up with a sort of a manual for people to know how to do healing, and more. And let's see what else is coming through today. Um, yeah, just see a lot of fun with doing all these things. That doesn't mean there aren't challenges, right? But there's a lot of fun. One of the things I get is that, yeah, any sense of old issues around being abandoned or left behind or not, all these kind of things. I feel like the old sorrow that's there. It's. Let me see what's coming up there. Yeah, water energy, like that water energy of emotion coming up. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I mean, so this is really powerful. I feel like this healing you're doing in the world, again, I feel we're all so interconnected that these deep wounds of feeling unworthy, like don't be seen, all this stuff, that you're going to help other people to heal through these wounds as well. Like it's going to go beyond this what you're doing, now on the, as amazing as it is. So you're going to go beyond that to these other aspects as well. So really helping people to heal those, and I'm sure you do it through the medical stuff, like the childhood wounds and whatnot. Like I see a lot with a lot coming up around this. And so I feel like when we're doing these healings, of course, it's like at some level we're just, working with ourselves as well. So I just feel like that's a big piece there. So there's always a lot more, but I just wanted to share a few things today with you, Kimberly. Any quick thoughts or reflections?
That's great. You're really great. Thank you.
Oh, sure thing. My
That's a
pleasure.
great reading. I'm going to be in Hollywood. Wow.
You're like, I'm with that. All right. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just share what comes through, sometimes people, as you know, they doubt, right? They're like, well, really? And then I'm like, when it happens, I'm like, I told you that years ago. And they're like, really? You did? Like they even forget I told them, right? So it's funny how that works.
My guys are saying yes, yes, yes.
Right. You'll know, right? Because in this case, you're really tuned in. So anyway, so everybody, if you want to check me out again, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. I've got a nice meditate and make money meditation. Really does help and support people and opening up your energy, your chakras, and getting downloads for each day in the tuning to do it, rocking your sacred purpose by tuning into what wants to happen. And I also have the opportunity for you to meet with me to get an energy scan consultation there as well. So yoursacredpurpose.com. All right. Well, I already did the last thoughts thing, but we'll do it again. Kimberly, any last thoughts for the listeners as we wrap up?
I love this show, Spiritual Rock Star.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Peace and love. Yes. Okay. Awesome, everybody. Lots of love to you all. And as I always say, keep on tuning it in and we'll keep on rocking it here on Spiritual Rock Star Podcast. Okay. Lots of love. Till next time.
Thank you.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.